What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and I know what you might be thinking. What the heck is going on? FireMonkey has hair underneath a Santa hat? And yes, I know, that is pretty crazy to see me not wearing a Santa hat in a YouTube video, but what's even crazier is the topic of today's video, which is, well, armored builds coming to Fortnite. Now, as far as I'm aware, I want to mention this at the start of the video. I do not believe whenever these get enabled in Fortnite, they're not going to be in competitive, and I do not believe that is going to be too overpowered to the point of, oh hey, you can just build armored stairs to the heaven and not have to worry about it, because I'll say this part of the leak very early on in the video, as you've already seen, an image of what armored walls and stuff look like. You're capped at 20 of these in your inventory at a single time, and the rarity of them just finding it around the map is probably going to be pretty small, so that you can't just, 90 your way to the heavens. It's basically, let's say you're trying to like save yourself from a build fight to quickly like shield up or whatever, and you don't want people breaking into your builds. You just place these down all around you, and now they're going to have one interesting time doing it. So without further ado, let's show an image of this upcoming trap on screen right now. Now, this image may look a little bit confusing due to stats that just don't need to be there at all, such as damage to players, but this is just because of how these images get generated through the leaking program I use. The reason why it says the damage to players are 50 is because this is just the baseline they put on every trap. Even if the trap doesn't actually do damage to anything, they'll just make it say it does 50 damage. I mean, sometimes you'll even see apparently floppers doing 50 damage to enemies. It's just a little bit of just like an error with the program because it's focused more on the actual stats of a weapon. Now, what is interesting here is that you have a max stack size as 20, meaning that whenever you're going around the map, whenever you're searching around, you can only carry 20 of these at a time. Whether it'll work like other traps where you can have two separate sets of them is anyone's like idea, but in the reality, are you really going to end up with 40 of these traps in your inventory at a single time? Probably not, just based on the fast-paced aspect that Fortnite is. Now, the one thing that isn't mentioned here, which is the most important thing, is how much health does this actually give builds? Does this do anything at all? Is it going to be like, oh hey, plus 27 like the durability at the very bottom says? No, I've been talking with a few friends such as G-Matrix Games, a fellow data miner and friend of mine, and we've come to the conclusion that it's either going to multiply or add 2,500 health to your builds. Now, if it multiplies by 2,500, just that is insane. Like, think about this. You have a wall here. If it multiplies this wall, it's going to multiply it, and you have to destroy 2,500 of that wall in order to destroy this reinforced one. That sounds a little overpowered. Now, if it just adds 2,500 to the already existing health of whatever wall build you use, wood, metal, brick, that type of thing, then it makes it a little bit more feasible, because yeah, it's adding a lot of health, but it's not 2,500 walls in a single one, So with that said, the reason why this video is titled how it is, and why I said this is going to change the game, is because while you can't use it for cranking 90s in the sky and stuff, this could make for some very interesting strategies late game and some very interesting gimmicks. Because if you think about it, let's say you're getting shot at from a distance, they're on the mountain across from you or whatever, and you just can't manage to fight back because you're low on health and you want to heal up first. Place a few walls down where they're not going to be able to shoot from you at, because the giant reinforced walls are here, and then heal up quickly, and then you can plan your strategy from there, because they're up there. They can't really destroy your builds. Even with a rocket launcher, they're not going to do enough damage to it as far as I'm aware, so you have enough time to heal yourself. And this could also be used late game. Let's say you're in the final circle, it's about to fully close in, and you want to just heal up instead of worrying about, someone just shooting you, dropping down from the sky, editing, whatever it might be. You're safe. Just box yourself up in the final circle if you made it there, and just kind of make sure you have a lot of fish on you. So it's going to be interesting to see like the strategies that get introduced with this, but this has actually been tested in the past. Back in chapter 1, there was an actual item that did exactly what this is going to do, which is add health to something like a build or anything out there. Now, the one from the long time ago, it was very buggy, and they also had a shield version of it where it would be like a shield bubble in front of the builds. Now, this appears to be Epic Games going back to their old ideas and being like, hey, this might work in today's meta, today's, strategies or whatever goes on. This might mix up things for the casual players. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I do not believe this is in competitive. If this shows up in competitive, it most likely will get vaulted very shortly, because as you guys can tell, recently Epic Games has actually been splitting up the competitive and normal loot pools. While normal modes get, more of the gimmicky items like the inflatable, competitive stays in its standard zone, where they have items that don't really be considered too overpowered overpowered, too goofy or anything, just to make it feel a little bit more esportsy. And for our final topic of today's video, I should probably talk about when will these come to the game. As of right now, I feel that we have a safe solution of, hey, we might have to wait a while before we get these in the game. I'll be talking about this in tomorrow's video, but there's these funding stations around the map, and you've probably seen them because you can fund turrets right now. There's going to be weapons from the past, brand new rarities of old weapons, and brand new weapons that throughout the season will you be able to fund which one we want to return and which one we want to just chill in the vault for a little bit longer. And I feel that these new traps might be competing with a different type of trap that'll be added in a future update on, hey, which one do you guys want to actually see in the game? Do you want to see reinforced builds, or do you want to see some other gimmick right here? We just really have to wait and see. So if you enjoy the content I create and you want to stay in the loop with everything Fortnite, consider subscribing just to, support the channel and to stay in the loop as I just said. Anyways, I will see you champs and champettes tomorrow with another video where we talk about all of the upcoming unvaulting battles. Peace out.